What up, guys? Thank you for joining me again this week. Once again, it's Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief. Once again, here to bring you another manga review segment of Otaku Assemble! Weekly, once again, I'm here to bring you the latest reviews on this week's One Piece and Naruto manga chapters, which surprisingly, they're out early. Okay, first off, I guess Golden Week's over with now, so happy late Golden Week to everybody. And as you guys may know, Golden Week is a national holiday over in Japan, which pretty much means that during Golden Week, Weekly Shonen Jump isn't released. Well, we usually get Weekly Shonen Jump on, well, the online scanlations, we usually get them on Wednesday or Thursday. But because of Golden Week, we didn't have any releases this week, except they released Weekly Shonen Jump early this week, which means it pretty much means the chapters were released yesterday, and because they were released yesterday, they won't be released this Wednesday. So yeah, so we pretty much have like over another week until the next chapter because they came out early. Anyway, so they came out early. They came out yesterday. And so yeah, so on with the review, I guess. Oh, and just for the record, because this was something that came to my attention last night. First of all, I want to thank everybody who joined me on my blog TV last night while I was watching the UFC 129 event, which sucked, by the way. But that's mainly because frickin' Randy Couture and Jake Shields both lost. I had money on that fight. Anyway, so, yeah, people went frantic. It's like, Larry, have you read the Naruto chapter? 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 Calm the fuck down. It's a chapter. Guess what? I went to bed last night after my blog TV. I woke up and guess what? The chapter was still there. Calm the fuck down. It's not going anywhere. I could see if, they were pulling it off the site or something like, you got to read it now because it's not going to be up there soon. It's still there. Calm the fuck down. Jesus Christ. I swear, some of you guys take that shit way too seriously. God. So, on to the review now. Okay, so first off, starting off with One Piece chapter 623 entitled The Pirate Fisher Tiger. Now, there's something I need to address here. I've mentioned this in my last two reviews because I've noticed it's a trend that's been going on. Oda isn't really, I don't think he's thinking about these chapter titles. These chapter titles are pretty, they're pretty mediocre at best. And why does the chapter title matter? Like, why am I bringing this up? Because the chapter title sets the tone for the entire chapter to come, When you start reading a manga chapter, there's the title page and there's the chapter title. Depending on the chapter title, you already know what you're getting into going into the chapter. So it's either the chapter title is either going to hint to what's in the chapter, which can either pump you up, get you excited, or it can leave things in the dark a little bit to be revealed later on in the chapter. It's all about presentation. That's what it is. The chapter title is a teaser, and then in the chapter is when the surprises and the content's supposed to be delivered. If you have a chapter title that's not very intriguing, then I don't know. It seems like you're kind of floating when you're getting into the chapter because it doesn't work. It's like a teaser trailer for a movie that doesn't get you excited. It's supposed to get you excited. So anyway, going into the chapter, pretty much what occurred in the chapter was that the slave girl that the Sun Pirates had on their ship that they decided to bring back home last week's chapter. Apparently like 3 years have passed. So once again, we see another time skip, 3 more years. No, correction. We are back to, wait, no, we did do another time skip because Originally, we went back 16 years, I believe. Then we jumped ahead a few years, and now we've jumped ahead even more. So we've jumped ahead about 6 years. Yeah, so we're like 10 years from the present in the flashback. Okay, so is everyone on the same page? We've jumped twice since the flashback. Back 16, up 3, and now up another 3. So, and yeah, so they finally they get to the hometown of the slave girl that they had on their ship that they was escorting, bringing back home. And apparently, I saw this shit coming. I didn't think it would I didn't want it to happen, but I saw this shit coming. Fucking Fisher Tiger, you know, he escorts her into the village, back into the arms of her mom, and back home with her fellow villagers. But then he gets ambushed by the fucking Marines, and they pretty much gun him to death. Seriously, they shoot him down. And credit to Fisher Tiger, because he was able to hang on there long enough for his crew to rescue him. Because the second that he was ambushed in the village, their ship was gunned down by Marines. Like, they were surrounded by Marines. The ship was gunned down. The rest of the Sun Pirates had to retreat into the water, and then they wind up taking a Marine ship and escaping. So they took the Marine ship, scooped him up, and they managed to escape. So, but man, it was kind of, the messed up part about it was that the villagers were in on it. They knew that he would be returning the slave girl back home. They knew he was coming. And they pretty much set him up. I hate to say I told you so, dude, but I mean, like, honestly, it's funny reading the flashback. It's funny reading the flashback, knowing what we know about the characters in the flashback, because we know about Jinbei, we know about Arlong, we know their whole attitude towards, fishmen and humans and all that type of jazz. But it's still funny to see how these things come about, because now I see why Arlong is the way he is. Completely. I completely relate to Arlong now. I completely know why he does what he does. I don't blame him. He's well within his rights. And I'm not saying what he did was right. No, the shit that Arlong did was fucking was vicious, and it was ruthless, and it was unforgiving. But with that said, I understand why he does what he does. I can't really blame him. Oh, shucks. Okay. So, oh shit. Okay, so on the ship, potentially on his deathbed, Fisher Tiger reveals that before the Sun Pirates were formed, if you guys remember when the flashback first started, where they showed Jinbei and Arlong on Fishman Island, and when Fisher Tiger returned right before the Sun Pirates were founded, they talked about how they said he had been gone for so long. They were like, "Man, your last voyage, it must have been a doozy, because we haven't seen you in forever." And he's like, "Yeah, and it was like, so what happened?" He was like, "Man, I just came across a lot of humans. I just saw a lot of humans on that voyage." Well, come to find out that apparently Fisher Tiger was enslaved, which I didn't know. Going into this chapter, I had already assumed that at some point in time, Fisher Tiger had already been a slave. Why? Because he seemed so passionate about freeing them. To be honest, let's just talk about why people do what they do, and let's just talk about human nature in general. When I'm talking about human nature, I'm not talking about human nature in the actual One Piece story. I'm talking about human nature as a concept that's being used in these characters. Okay, let's face it. Ichiro Oda is a human being. He's not a fishman. He's a human writing this story, talking about this conflict between races, and he's talking about humans and he's talking about fishman. Well, let's talk about fishman created by means of human nature. Let's face it, human nature. You wouldn't do anything. You wouldn't try to help people just for the sake of doing it. Usually there is some type of gain That's there's something you're doing it for some type of gain. Now, you guys might be saying, Larry, that's kind of fucked up. You mean you're practically saying that there is no such thing as people in the world who do good things for the sake of being good. Let me tell you something, okay? Now, I'm not the oldest cat, you know. Hell, I'm only 21 going on 22. I haven't been on the earth that long. But I would like to think that I've seen my fair share of shit in my day. Okay, let's face it. For the most part, the percentage of people in the world that actually do good things for the sake of doing good things is so minuscule. That percentage is so small compared to the masses, okay? So, not to get off topic, what I'm saying is, how does this relate to my review? This is the point I'm trying to get to. This is my point. My point is, Fisher Tiger would not do what he has done to free those slaves and to save his fellow fishermen the way he did it. The way he does it so passionately, he would not have done it had he not been a slave himself. Can you guys see what I'm saying? Like, some of you guys would be like, well, no, because he's just freeing his fellow fishermen. True, but he wouldn't be as passionate about it had he not been in their shoes. There's a completely different perspective from wanting to help your fellow man and then actually being there with him, having been in his footsteps, having been in the shit with him. There's a completely different perspective that you have about the situation. So that's why I assumed that he was already a slave at some point in time. I just didn't know that that's when it had happened. And, you know, Jimmy and Arlong and them, they had no fucking clue. So then pretty much, you know, they talk about how they try to save Fisher Tiger with a blood transfusion. You know, apparently none of his crew has the same type of blood that he does, but the Marine ship that they have does have a blood bank, a blood depository, and they say, well, there might be blood that, you know, we can use to save you here. And he was pretty much saying, don't put that in me. You know, that blood's poisoned. It's filthy. It's dirty. And man, it was harsh. It was deep. Pretty much, like, honestly though, like what we saw in this chapter, we saw Fisher Tiger with a broken heart. Like, you literally saw in those last few pages, like, his heart was just broken. Like, and he died. That's what it was. The Marines didn't kill Fisher Tiger. He died of a broken heart. That's what it was. Like, you could see it in his face. You could hear it in his voice. You could hear it. You could read it in his words. He died of a broken heart, man. So, it's tragic. But now I see exactly why Arlong is the way he is. I see why Jinbei acts the way he does. I can see this now. I don't blame either one of them for doing shit that they do. But interesting enough, the chapter closed out with we saw Kizaru. He had Arlong under his boot. Apparently, Arlong went back to that village getting ready to start shit. Clearly, you know, trying to avenge Fisher Tiger. But he ran into Kizaru, who, you know, he ran into Kizaru, and something's going on between those two. I have my predictions. I have my thoughts on what exactly is going to happen. But I'll reserve those just for the sake of time and for the sake of the next chapter's review. I have my thoughts about exactly what's going to happen between Kizaru and Arlong, though, which is a pretty shady business, if I do say so myself. So that'll wrap it up for this week's One Piece review. Now on to Naruto. On to Naruto. Okay, so Naruto Chapter 537, entitled Night Falls. Okay, pretty much, we pick up right where we left off last week, where Madara showed up with the heretical demon statue, and like I said, he wrecked shit in this chapter. That's what we saw. That fucking statue was just destroying shit, just wrecking shit. Choza and Choji, you know, they're the two, you know, they have the ability to, you know, transform into those giants. Yeah, sure, they were trying to hold him off. Didn't really work. They couldn't stop him. The Tsuchikage's son, whose name I keep forgetting, we saw him use his most powerful jutsu. Didn't phase this damn thing at all. At all, man. But funny enough, this is what surprised me in the chapter. what Madara did in the chapter surprised the hell out of me. I expected Madara to come onto the field and just wreck shit. No. Madara went after that fucking, that giant jar, that giant goblet. The prison for, Kinkaku and Ginkaku. Yeah, that thing, that's what he wanted. He wanted Kinkaku and Ginkaku. I didn't see that shit coming. I expected him to get on the field and just, you know, demolish everything. But yeah, apparently he wants the Nine-Tails chakra that they have to seal inside of the demon statue. So hold on, I gotta. That was actually messing with my thoughts, so I had to turn it down a little bit. But yeah, so I don't. Okay, checking my time. Don't want to make this too long. But yeah, Madara wants Kinkaku and Ginkaku's Nine-Tailed chakra to seal inside of the demon statue. And then once he had it, he took it along with the demon statue and disappeared again. Which that shocked me again, because I was almost positive that he went to the battlefield to get Killer Bee and Naruto. Apparently not. But he said that, okay, night falls, you know, we saw, you know, the moon come out and whatnot. He said that he was going to put his Moon's Eye plan into effect tomorrow, which would be the following night. How the fuck is he going to do that without Killer Bee and Naruto? Because the chakra, he has one of Killer Bee's tentacles. So he has Eight-Tails chakra in the demon statue, and now he has Kinkaku and Genkaku's Nine-Tails chakra into the statue as well. But that's not the same amount of chakra that he would have if he actually sealed the tail beast. So how the fuck is he going to do that? Like, seriously, how is he going to pull that off? Like, is that enough chakra for him to use? I have no fucking clue. And then we saw Kabuto. He was like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? It's like, why go after Kinkaku and Genkaku? Like he didn't see that coming either. It's like, what the fuck is Madara doing? What are you doing, man? So apparently Madara has something else in mind that none of us are, like, apparently we're not on his train of thought. He is over here. He's in La La Land. He has his own plans, apparently. I'm a little confused. Oh, another surprise. Okay, Killer Bee and Naruto are still heading to the battlefield, right? But check this out. When it gets back to the Raikage and Tsunade, they decide to go after Naruto and Killer Bee themselves. Now, see, that I didn't expect. I didn't expect that at all. Like, I'm actually kind of excited about that. You know, the Raikage meeting up with his brother again. You know, Tsunade meeting up with her cousin. Now that we know that they're cousins. But yeah, they're going after them themselves. So, I don't know what to think of that. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't think we're going to see, like, them meet up with Killer Bee and Naruto and it just be some type of conversation. I don't think so. Because if all they wanted was conversation, then the Raikage and Tsunade wouldn't have to be there personally. I'm hoping that something happens where we get to see some tag team action. I would love to see some type of confrontation with Killer Bee and Raikage team up and Tsunade and Naruto team up. Like, I would love to see some type of, like, a little fight or an ambush or something. I would love to see that. And now we get to the bullshit part of the chapter. Okay, let me tell you what the bullshit part of the chapter is. On the last page, we finally get the fatality count. One day, the first day of the war, both sides have already lost half of their forces. Out of the 80,000 in the Allied Shinobi forces, 40,000 casualties. That's bullshit. We never saw anyone die. That's bullshit. And then on Akatsuki, 50,000 casualties. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Why? Because all the white Zetsus are good for is cannon fire. That's all they are. They're cannon fire. Well, I guess we should say that about the fucking the ninja in the Allied Shinobi Forces who don't have a name, who we don't know of. I mean, they're cannon fire too. But I mean, out of the main characters, no one's dead. No one died. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. Oh, and it looks like, okay, the Gaara Tsuchikage fight doesn't look like it's happened yet. Why? Because when we saw that scene of Gaara and the Tsuchikage, they're hiding. They're still hiding. Like, it doesn't look like they've engaged the other Kages yet. But as for fucking as far as Kakashi and his crew, keep in mind, when we left Kakashi and his crew, they were surrounded by the enemy. They were surrounded by the 7 swordsmen of the mist. Guess what? They were all hiding behind trees. And Kakashi still had the fucking sword. You know what that means? That means they skipped that fucking fight. And then for Madara to say that he's going to activate his Moon Eye plans tomorrow? Are you shitting me? You mean this whole fucking war? It's the 4th great ninja war. And it lasted 2 days? Kishimoto, you fail, sir. You fail. Pick it up, man. Pick it the fuck up. Seriously, do something. Alright. I'm ending this review because that just pissed me off. Like, I was thinking it, but now actually having said it and heard me say it, it's like, this war is not, like I said, I've been saying it for the past 2-3 weeks. This war has not been living up to my expectation. I don't think this war has been living up to any of our expectations. I don't think it has. It really has been lackluster at best. It really has. When you compare, and it's like I said, I don't like comparing this war or any war for that matter to any other war in any other manga. Why? Because none of them are the same. They're all different fucking circumstances. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Marineford in One Piece. Everyone, like a lot of people have compared the 4th Ninja War to Marineford. Let me tell you what the difference is, okay? Well, now, yes, if you, like now, by all means, go ahead and compare Marineford to the 4th Great Ninja War now. Why? Because so far the 4th Great Ninja War has been one battle, which is what Marineford was. Marineford was one battle. It wasn't a war. It was a battle. There's a difference. A war is an accumulation of a bunch of different battles. Look at wars in history, people. The American Revolution, the Civil War, the American Indian War, the French Indian War, the French, I fucked something up. American Revolution, Civil War, French and Indian War, Spanish Civil War, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm, Iraq. Look at all of these wars in history. No war has one battle, okay? There are a bunch of battles. That's what makes up a war, okay? Technically, the only war that we've had outside of, the only war that we've had so far in like big name manga would probably be the fight for Karakura Town in Bleach. Why? Because that was a bunch of battles. Because we had the fights in Karakura Town, you know, the lieutenant fights, the captain fights. We had the fights in Hector Mundo. Like, we had all these different battles occurring at the same time. You feel me? Marineford was one big brawl. So far, the 4th Ninja War has been one big brawl for the most part. But yeah, I don't like to compare them to one another because they're not the same. They're not on the same circumstances. But the two that I will compare, the 4th Great Ninja War with Marineford, like I said, the 4th Great Ninja War is lacking compared to Marineford. It's lacking. So, I love this song. I'm turning this back up. Excuse me. Not a given right. So yeah, that'll do it for this. Oh wow, this video has gone on way too long. That'll do it for this week's manga review. Just so you guys know, last note, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna leave this off, but just so you guys know, there is an update vid. I will do an update vid later this week. Keep an eye out for important information in that update vid. Other than that, Game of Thrones review tonight. Fast 5 movie review tomorrow, and then my manga first impressions of Siren. It's late, I know, I just had finals week this past week. That review will be after my Fast 5 movie review, so keep an eye out for that. This is Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief, saluting, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.